Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you realize you are different. Not because you seek attention, not because you crave validation, but because you carry something within you, a divine light, a calling, a purpose that sets you apart. You are chosen. And when you are chosen by God, the battle intensifies. See, the devil doesn't fall in love with the weak. He falls for the strong. He falls for those who carry resilience, those who radiate faith, those who refuse to break under pressure. Nobody has handled the storms like you have. Nobody has walked through the fire and come out refined like you. And that is why you are being tested. That is why the resistance is so strong. But I want you to understand something powerful today. If the enemy is obsessed with you, it's because he knows the magnitude of what God has placed inside of you. Today we are going to shift our perspective, step into awareness, and embrace the truth. You were never meant to fit in because you were designed to lead. God's chosen ones face the greatest battles because they carry the greatest purpose. From the moment you step into the awareness of who you are, the battle begins. It is not a coincidence that life seems to test you in ways that others do not experience. The struggles you endure, the resistance you face, and the weight you carry are not random. They are direct responses to the magnitude of what you have been called to do. When you carry divine purpose, opposition is inevitable. The enemy does not waste time on those who pose no threat. He targets the ones who have something powerful within them, something unshakable, something that cannot be broken. There are moments when you feel as if you are fighting battles on all sides. Moments when it seems like every step forward is met with resistance. The path of a chosen one is never easy because it is designed to refine, to strengthen, and to prepare you for the weight of your calling. The trials are not meant to break you, but to shape you into the person who can handle the blessings and the responsibilities that come with them. You cannot carry a great purpose with a weak foundation. And so life stretches you, challenges you, and forces you to grow in ways that others may never understand. When you look at the lives of those who have made a significant impact, you will see a pattern, pain, struggle, betrayal, and moments of solitude. The greatest leaders, the most influential voices, the strongest warriors in history did not rise from comfort. They emerged from hardship. They were molded in adversity. Every great purpose comes with a cost, and those who are chosen to carry it must be willing to endure what comes with it. This is why your journey has been different. This is why you have faced what you have faced. It is not easy to walk a path that few understand. It is not easy to stand firm when everything around you seems to be shaking. There are times when you will question why you have been given such a heavy burden. You will wonder why you cannot simply walk the same road as everyone else, why your struggles seem greater, and why your victories often feel delayed. But the truth is, the weight of your trials is a reflection of the weight of your calling. The deeper the struggle, the greater the purpose. The more intense the opposition, the more powerful the anointing on your life. The enemy recognizes who you are even before you do. He sees the potential, the influence, the impact that you are destined to make. This is why you have been tested so severely. This is why certain people have tried to tear you down, why doors have closed, why you have had to endure seasons of isolation. It is not because you are unworthy or forgotten, but because you are being prepared. The process of preparation is never comfortable. It stretches you, breaks you down, and forces you to let go of what is not aligned with your purpose. Many people do not make it through this process. They give up when the pressure becomes too much. They settle for less because the journey feels too hard. But those who are truly chosen understand that they cannot afford to quit. They know that their trials are not punishments, but preparations. They recognize that every hardship is refining them, strengthening them, and positioning them for something far greater than they can imagine. The struggle you are facing now is not in vain. It is shaping you into the person you are always meant to be. The moments of pain, the nights of uncertainty, the battles that seem relentless, all of it is part of the process. You are being tested not to be destroyed, but to be strengthened. You are being challenged not to fail, but to rise. You are being prepared because what you are called to do requires a version of you that is strong enough to carry it. Many people wish to be chosen, but few are willing to endure what comes with it. To be chosen means to be set apart. It means to walk a path that is different from the rest. It means to be misunderstood, to face opposition, and to carry burdens that others will never see, but it also means to be entrusted with something powerful, something that has the ability to change lives, something that goes beyond personal gain and reaches into the lives of others. You were never meant to live an average life. You were never meant to blend in. The reason you have faced battles that others have not is because you have been called to something greater. The reason the enemy has fought so hard against you is because he knows that once you fully step into your purpose, you will become unstoppable. The trials you face are not signs of your weakness, but evidence of your strength. The resistance you encounter is not a sign to quit, but confirmation that you are on the right path. Your journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires resilience, faith, and an unshakable belief that everything you are going through is leading you towards something greater. The pressure is not there to break you, but to forge you into the person you need to become. The battles are not there to stop you, but to remind you that you are already a warrior. The struggle is real, but so is your calling. The devil targets those who are strong, not the weak. When you carry a powerful spirit, when you are chosen for something greater, opposition will come. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat. He goes after the ones who are resilient, the ones who refuse to break, the ones who continue to rise no matter how many times they are knocked down. He knows that if he can shake your confidence, distract you, or make you doubt your purpose, he can. But there is something different about you. Something he cannot control. From the moment you became aware of who you are, the battle intensified. It was never random. The moments of struggle, the betrayals, the disappointments, the unexpected losses, they were not coincidences. They were calculated attacks designed to break your spirit, to steal your focus, and to make you question whether you were truly meant for more. The enemy does not chase after those who are lost. He chases those who are found. He does not try to destroy those who are already defeated. He targets the ones who have the strength to rise. If you look at history, at the people who have left an impact on the world, you will notice something. They all faced resistance. They all had moments when everything seemed to come against them. The stronger their calling, the greater their opposition. The same applies to you. The reason you have faced certain struggles is because you have something within you that is powerful. The enemy sees it even when you don't. He recognizes your potential before you do, and that is why he attacks so relentlessly. He wants to stop you before you realize just how unstoppable you really are. Some of the hardest battles are the ones that come disguised as ordinary struggles. The moments when you feel exhausted for no reason. The relationships that suddenly fall apart. The opportunities that seem to slip away just when you are about to step into something bigger. The unexpected challenges that make you wonder if you are on the right path. These are not just random events. They are distractions designed to weaken your focus. Because if the enemy can't destroy you, he will try to delay you. He will try to make you second guess yourself. He will try to make you feel like you are not enough. One of the greatest tricks of the enemy is to convince you that your struggles mean you are doing something wrong. But in reality, they are proof that you are on the right path. The resistance comes because you are moving forward. The obstacles appear because you are making progress. The attacks increase because you are stepping into something greater. This is why you must keep going. This is why you must refuse to give in to the doubt, the fear, and the distractions. You must recognize that the battle is not about where you are right now. It is about where you are going. Strength is not just about physical endurance or mental toughness. It is about spiritual resilience. It is about knowing who you are, even when everything around you tries to make you forget. It is about standing firm when the pressure increases. It is about refusing to shrink when life tries to make you small. Strength is the ability to keep moving forward, even when the weight of your circumstances makes you want to stop. And that is why the enemy targets you, because you have that strength. When you understand this, you start to see your struggles different. You start to realize that every attack, every setback, every challenge is not a sign that you are losing, but a confirmation that you are winning. You start to recognize that the opposition is not a sign that you should quit, but proof that you are becoming exactly who you were meant to be. The battle is not easy, but it was never meant to be. The greatest victories come from the hardest fights. The strongest warriors are forged in the most intense battles, and you were never meant to live an average life. There will be moments when you feel like the pressure is too much. Moments when you wonder if you have the strength to keep going. Moments when the attacks feel relentless and the path feels unclear. But that is when you must remind yourself why you started. You must remind yourself that the enemy does not fight those who have nothing to offer. He fights those who have the potential to change everything. He fights those who have been called to something greater. He fights those who are strong enough to break the cycles, to rise above the limitations, and to create something that cannot be undone. Everything you have faced up to this point has been part of the process. The challenges, the opposition, the unexpected battles, they were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to show you just how powerful you really are. The fact that you are still here, still pushing forward, still refusing to give up is proof that nothing can stop what has been placed inside of you. The enemy may try, but he will never succeed, because you are stronger than the battle, greater than the resistance, and destined for something beyond what you can see right now. There is something about you that the enemy cannot ignore. You carry a presence, a light, a force that disrupts darkness. When you walk into a room, you don't just exist. You shift the energy. You bring something that cannot be explained, something that cannot be duplicated, and because of that, you will always attract both admiration and opposition. Some people will be drawn to you, inspired by you, and want to walk with you. Others will be irritated by your very existence, unsettled by the power you don't even realize you carry. The devil has fallen in love with your resilience. He sees something in you that refuses to break, something that refuses to give in, even when everything around you suggests you should. He has studied you. He has observed the way you rise, the way you endure, the way you continue to push forward despite every obstacle that has been placed in your path. He sees that you have something different, something that others do not. And because of that, he cannot simply ignore you. The attacks on your life have not been random. They have been strategic. The enemy has watched you long enough to know what has the potential to shake you. He knows how to send distractions, how to create doubt, how to manipulate circumstances in an attempt to break your focus. He does not attack the unchosen. He does not waste time on those who are not a threat. He goes after the ones who have been marked for something greater. He goes after the ones who refuse to conform, who refuse to settle, who refuse to be controlled. When you look back at your life, you will see that your struggles were never ordinary. You did not face the same level of difficulty as others because your calling is not the same. The weights you have carried, the battles you have fought, the storms you have endured, they were all designed to prepare you for something greater. They were meant to sharpen you, to refine you, to strengthen you in ways that most people would never understand. People have wondered how you have survived certain things. They have questioned how you continue to rise after every setback, how you maintain your faith in the midst of adversity, how you still believe in something greater despite the pain you have experienced. What they do not realize is that you have been sustained by something beyond yourself. You have been upheld by a force that will not allow you to fail. You have been chosen, and because of that, there is a divine protection over your life that cannot be broken. The enemy does not just want to stop you. He wants to exhaust you. He wants to drain you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. He wants to create so much confusion, so much doubt, so much weariness that you willingly give up on the very thing you were born to do. But what he fails to realize is that the more he pushes, the stronger you become. The more he tries to break you, the more resilient you grow. The more he attempts to discourage you, the more determined you become. You were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to walk the same path as everyone else. You were designed to stand out, to walk a road that few would dare to travel. And because of that, your challenges will be different, your tests will be greater, your battles will be harder, but your victories will also be more powerful. Your transformation will be more profound, and the impact you leave will be undeniable. The reason you are still standing is because you were built for this. The reason you have not given up is because something deep within you refuses to surrender. The reason you continue to rise no matter how many times life has knocked you down is because you were created to endure. You were designed to overcome. You were born to break barriers, to disrupt cycles, to change the very fabric of the world around you. There will be people who do not understand your journey. There will be those who question your purpose, who try to minimize your impact, who attempt to convince you that you are not as significant as you truly are. Do not listen to them. Do not let their doubt become your truth. Do not allow their limited perception to dictate how you see yourself. You were chosen for something bigger, and you cannot afford to shrink to make others comfortable. Every challenge you have faced, every moment of pain, every obstacle that has tried to stand in your way has been shaping you. It has been molding you into the person you were always meant to become. The enemy knows this, which is why he has fought so hard to keep you distracted. He knows that if you ever fully step into your power, there will be nothing he can do to stop you. He knows that if you truly recognize who you are, the impact you will have will be unstoppable. You are not here by accident. You are not going through these battles for no reason. Everything has been preparing you, refining you, strengthening you for what is coming next. The enemy may have tried to stop you, but he has only made you stronger. He may have tried to break you, but he has only made you wiser. He may have tried to discourage you, but he has only made you more determined. You were chosen for something greater, and nothing can change that. You have handled things in a way that no one else could. The weight you have carried, the storms you have endured, the trials that have come against you, most people would have collapsed under the pressure, but you did not. You stood firm, even when everything in you wanted to give up. You kept moving forward, even when you felt broken inside. And because of that, you have become something rare, something that cannot be easily shaken, something that even the enemy cannot ignore. The people around you have no idea how much strength it took to make it this far. They see your resilience, but they do not understand the depth of what you have endured. They assume you are strong because you make it look easy. They assume you are unbothered because you refuse to show your pain, but they have no idea how many silent battles you have fought, how many nights you have prayed for strength, how many moments you have felt like quitting, but somehow found the courage to keep going. The reason your journey has been different is because you were never meant to follow the crowd. You were never meant to live an average life, never meant to be ordinary. From the moment you were born, there was something about you that set you apart. There was something within you that carried a different frequency, a different level of awareness, a different kind of power. And because of that, you have been tested in ways that most people could never understand. The struggles you have faced were not meant to break you. They were meant to refine you, to shape you into something greater. Every challenge you have encountered has been designed to strengthen your spirit, to sharpen your mind, to push you beyond what you thought you were capable of. The reason it feels like you have been in constant warfare is because the enemy recognizes your potential. He knows that if you ever fully embrace who you are, there will be nothing he can do to stop you. You've been misunderstood by many because you do not operate like the rest. You do not conform. You do not settle. You do not allow yourself to be confined by the expectations of others. And that is precisely why you have faced so much opposition. When you refuse to shrink, when you refuse to play small, when you refuse to follow the same patterns as everyone else, you become a target. But what the enemy fails to understand is that every attack against you has only made you stronger. There is a reason why people are drawn to you. There is a reason why they confide in you, why they look to you for guidance, why they feel safe in your presence. You carry something within you that most people do not. You have wisdom that was not taught, strength that was not handed to you, courage that was not inherited. You have been forged in the fire of adversity, and because of that, there is nothing that can break you. But with that strength comes responsibility. You were not given this level of resilience for no reason. You were not entrusted with this kind of power just to exist in mediocrity. You were chosen to lead, chosen to break barriers, chosen to shift the very energy of the spaces you enter. And because of that, the enemy has tried everything to stop you. He has tried to confuse you, to drain you, to make you question yourself. But every time he thought you were about to give up, you found a way to rise again. Most people would not have survived what you have endured. Most people would have given up long ago. But you are different. You were built for something greater. You have the ability to withstand pressure, to endure hardships, to face opposition and still come out stronger. That is why the enemy keeps coming after you. Because no matter what he throws your way, you refuse to break. The enemy does not waste time on those who are not a threat. He only attacks the ones who carry something powerful, the ones who are destined for something greater. And that is why you have faced battles that others could not even imagine. That is why you have been tested in ways that do not make sense. The enemy sees what you carry, and he knows that if you ever truly step into your power, nothing will be able to stand in your way. You have handled pain with grace. You have walked through storms with unwavering faith. You have carried burdens that were never meant to be yours, yet you did not let them break you. And that is what makes you different. That is what sets you apart. You do not just survive, you rise. You do not just endure, you transform. And because of that, there is nothing that can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. There is something about you that unsettles the enemy, something within you that disrupts the darkness, that shakes the very foundation of the unseen world. You have a presence, an energy, a light that cannot be ignored. Even those who do not understand it can feel it. They are drawn to you, but at the same time, they resist you. They admire you, yet they fear you. Because you do not conform, because you do not bow, because you do not shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You have always been different. Even as a child, you saw the world through a different lens. You questioned what others blindly accepted. You searched for deeper meaning when others were content with the surface. And because of that, you have walked a lonely road. You have often felt like an outsider, like you do not quite belong. But that is because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to disrupt the patterns, to break the cycles, to bring change where others only saw routine. There are forces that have tried to silence you, to suppress you, to make you doubt yourself. But they cannot succeed because what is inside of you is greater than anything that comes against you. You have survived things that were meant to destroy you. You have overcome battles that were designed to break you. And yet, here you are, still standing, still rising, still becoming. That is why the enemy fears you. Because no matter what has been thrown at you, you refuse to stay down. There are people in your life who do not understand you. They may question your decisions, your path, your refusal to settle for the ordinary. They may not see the vision you carry, the purpose that drives you. But that is not for them to understand. Not everyone will recognize the calling on your life. Not everyone will see the fire within you. But that does not mean it is not there. You must remember that you were not created to be understood by everyone. You were created to fulfill a purpose that is far greater than their perception. There's a reason why you attract both love and resistance. There's a reason why some people are drawn to you while others seem to come against you without cause. It is because your presence disrupts their comfort. Your existence challenges their limitations. When you walk into a room, the energy shifts. You do not just exist. You command. You do not just move, you create waves. That kind of presence is rare and it cannot go unnoticed. The ones who oppose you, the ones who try to bring you down, the ones who seek to undermine you, do not mistake their actions for mere coincidence. The enemy works through people who are unaware of their own darkness. He uses them to try to distract you, to discourage you, to make you question your worth. But they do not realize that every attempt to weaken you only fuels your fire. Every act of resistance only makes you stronger. You are not easily manipulated. You do not fall for deception. You see beyond the surface, beyond the masks, beyond the illusions. And that is dangerous to the enemy. He thrives in confusion, in distraction, in illusion. But you were given eyes to see, ears to hear, and a mind that cannot be easily swayed. That is why he works overtime to try to shake you. That is why he sends distractions, obstacles, and people who do not have your best interests at heart. But what he fails to realize is that every attack only prepares you for the next level. You have walked through the fire, and yet you are not burned. You have faced storms that should have drowned you, but you are still here. That is because there is a hand over your life that is greater than any force that rises against you. You are protected, you are covered, you are chosen. The reason the enemy fights so hard is because he knows he is already lost. He knows that nothing he does can stop what has been set in motion for you. Your resilience is a threat. Your faith is a weapon. Your very existence is a reminder that light cannot be extinguished by darkness. That is why you have faced battles that others have not. That is why you have been tested in ways that seem unfair, but it is all part of the process. It is all part of the preparation. You were never meant for small things. You were never meant for mediocrity. You were designed for impact, for transformation, for greatness. The enemy does not pursue those who pose no threat. He does not waste time on those who have no power. If you have faced resistance, if you have experienced opposition, if you have been attacked without cause, take it as confirmation that you carry something valuable, confirmation that you are walking in your purpose, confirmation that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is a reason why the enemy has pursued you so relentlessly, a reason why you have felt like you were constantly under attack, like no matter how much you try to move forward, something is always trying to pull you back. It is not because you are weak. It is not because you are unworthy. It is because you are powerful beyond measure. And the enemy sees it even when you do not. He knows the magnitude of your calling. He knows the force that lives inside of you. And because of that, he has tried everything to break you, to distract you, to make you doubt yourself. You have walked through situations that would have destroyed most people. You have endured pain that should have left you bitter, hopeless, and lost. But instead, you kept going. Instead, you found a way to rise. And every time the enemy thought he had you, every time he believed he had finally taken you out, you proved him wrong. You got back up. You kept pushing. You refused to let the weight of your struggles define you. And that is what terrifies him. That is what makes you dangerous. The reason why so many people have turned against you, the reason why you have felt abandoned, betrayed, and misunderstood is because the enemy knows that isolation is one of his greatest weapons. He knows that if he can make you feel alone, if he can convince you that no one truly understands you, then he can weaken your spirit. But what he fails to understand is that your power does not come from people. It does not come from validation, from approval, from recognition. Your power comes from within. It comes from the connection you have with something greater than yourself. It comes from the fire that burns inside of you, the spirit that refuses to be broken. You were not chosen for an easy path. You were chosen for a path that requires strength, resilience, and faith beyond measure. That is why your struggles have been different. That is why your journey has been filled with battles that others could not even comprehend. Because you were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to live a life that is safe, predictable, and comfortable. You were meant to break barriers, to shift atmospheres, to bring change where others see only limitations. There is a reason why you have been tested the way you have, a reason why the weight on your shoulders has been so heavy. It is because you were built to carry it. You were created to endure, to rise, to lead. And with that kind of calling comes resistance. The enemy does not attack those who pose no threat. He does not waste his time on those who are content with mediocrity. He goes after the ones who are dangerous, the ones who have the potential to shift the course of generations. And that is why you have been a target. That is why it feels like every time you get close to your breakthrough, something tries to stop you. But what the enemy does not realize is that every attack against you has only strengthened you. Every time he tried to knock you down, you became more resilient. Every time he tried to discourage you, you became more determined. Every setback, every betrayal, every hardship, it has all been fuel for your transformation. And now you are not the same person you once were. You are stronger, wiser, more powerful than ever before. People have tried to understand you, but they cannot. They see your strength, but they do not know where it comes from. They see your resilience, but they do not know the battles you have fought to build it. They see your light, but they do not know the darkness you had to overcome to shine the way you do. And that is why they either admire you or fear you. That is why some people are drawn to you while others try to tear you down. You were never meant to be like the rest. You were never meant to follow the path that others take. That is why certain doors have been closed to you. That is why certain people have walked away. Because where you are going, not everyone can follow. Where you are being called to, not everyone is meant to come. And though it may feel like loss, it is actually protection. It is actually preparation. The enemy has tried to confuse you, to make you question yourself, to make you doubt the vision inside of you. He has tried to make you believe that you are not enough, that you are unworthy, that you are incapable. But the very fact that he is working so hard against you should tell you everything you need to know. If you were not a threat, he would not bother with you. If you were not destined for something great, he would not try so hard to stop you. You are stepping into a version of yourself that the enemy never wanted to see emerge. You are becoming someone that cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled, cannot be deceived. You have been tested, you have been refined, and now you are ready for what is next.